Hey, Silas here. So, problems occur due to how we define X rather than what X is. And I've traveled around in my life, I've been blessed, been privileged to meet a lot of people, see a lot of different things, and with that as well also comes with some confusion about certain things that other people seem to take for granted. And this is something that we all do. We project things that we take for granted onto other people. And if we define something in a certain way and we say that thing or we point out that thing and somebody else hears those things but they define it in a different way, there can be some confusion. So to try and make sense out of things that confuse me and confuse other people and just have better communication, I'm going to try to do this six-part series to try and define something and understand this concept that seems convoluted to some or overly complicated to others when those are the two things that I think lead to confusion. Okay, so let's start with this. One, the concept of one. If there is a one thing, like this is one pencil, this is one piece of paper, that's one number, this is one recording, this is part one of this series. We understand the concept of one. It's just an idea of something. There isn't an actual Plato's, was Plato's forms, Plato's natural forms. There's something he says that where there's an actual one out there. There isn't an actual physical one, but it's a concept that we think of. Then we think one plus one. Now, if this is two individual things being added together, I already said the answer right there is two. We understand this is a mathematical concept when you're adding these two things together. These things don't necessarily become or end their singleness, but when you put them together, they become two. This seems like it should be an uncontroversial thing to say, but it is current here, and that's really something that some people might take issue with. But it doesn't change. You can also write this as one and one. It could be two individual things. It could be two circles. That's two circles. You can see that's two, but still here there were a circle in the circle. You see what I'm saying? Some of these things can start getting now more difficult as you get to these other aspects. But in general, 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's something that I think most people can agree on. Then if you have that same thing and you get 2, which is negative, it's the opposite of that, now you're taking away the 1 from that, then it's 1. 2 negative 1 of those things. 2 of x negative 1x equals 1x. Then 1x plus 1x equals 2x. Somebody can understand certain these concepts. Now, what is the x? That is when I think we get certain confusion. Because this general aspect of it, I don't think that's too controversial. But this is something that we'll build on in the rest of this series. And I think you'll see where some of the convolution comes on one end and some of the complications come on one end. But the concepts, once you agree on the concept of there can be a one thing, there can be another separate one thing, and there is a construct that can be made when you add those two things together. And that's what constructs in general are. Constructs are how we put things together, put certain concepts together. We agree on those things and we construct those either with ourselves or with other people. And that's how we communicate and that's how we have a civilization. And this is very key. I think now as we have this globalized world and people are meeting from different places, different cultures, different definitions meeting together, that's leading to a lot of issues that can be fixed.